What an incredible finish it has been for him. He was also 9th place at Worlds this past season. And Cyrus Davis with still plenty of solid finishes this year. Lots of top 64s, lots of day 2s, top 16 there in Peoria. It's going to be that Gardevoir EX up against Inteleon Urshifu.
Inteleon Urshifu, sort of a balanced deck here. They pair very well together. And I'm excited to see from both of these players all throughout the season. We've seen them on the stream making some incredible plays, and I expect absolutely nothing less from this matchup. And these plays here from both of our players, you know, the pressure's on, the lights are on. I'm sure there's a big audience out there and friends and family of both these players ready to root them on in our top 4, but at the end of the day, only one of these players will advance into our finals here and face off on Championship Sunday, and that's what they're both trying to get to. We're starting here with the prize cards, Chip. What do you see?
I see a Manaphy in the prizes for Cal Connor, and that is an important card to try to combat Rapid Strike Urshifu's G-Max Rapid Flow. Normally, it's not too big of a deal for this deck because as Cyrus, you try to get that Yoga Loop in there, but you don't even have to worry about it. We could just see Urshifu come down. We could see Melanie get the energy on it, attach Rapid Strike energy from hand, and G-Max Rapid Flow, picking apart Cal's board. I'm really curious to see what Cal is going to do in this game. I mean, he's coming in knowing what Cyrus is playing. He knows that this is a bad matchup. It's an uphill battle, but even with a bad matchup, you have to have a strategy. You have to have a game plan. We'll see what he's crafted, what he and his friends have talked about, what they've come up with as his best chance to win this set.
All right, we're kicking things off here in our Masters Top 4 first match here, starting over on Cyrus's side with a Hisuian Heavy Ball going to be traded into the prize cards here. So Cyrus already getting a look at the prize cards, take a lot of mental anguish off of the rest of this match, as well as getting an Inteleon V out of the prize cards off that Hisuian Heavy Ball. So
always kind of a relief when you open up the Hisuian Heavy Ball, to be honest. Don't have to spend the extra time checking your prizes. Don't need to use that mental brain power to worry about it too much.
Yeah, it feels good for sure. That's a nice little opener, especially when you also get a Pokemon off of it. We do see a Forest Seal Stone coming down onto that Inteleon V with that Star Alchemy ability, adding a lot of consistency into this Rapid Strike deck. It allows you to piece together exactly what you need, and that is actually a lot of what this deck is, piecing together all of the plays needed to advance in your matches.
A turn 1 Sealstone usually leads to a turn 1 Battle VIP pass, and that is absolutely the case here. Going to try to set this board up. I do believe Cyrus already has a Remoraid in hand. That is a key piece, so you can get to that Octillery, utilize its Rapid Strike search ability throughout the course of your game, adding more Rapid Strike cards into your hand. But you do want to still get some other things established. Looks like Radiant Alakazam being eyed up right away. Yeah, another Inteleon, a third copy of that Inteleon V.
Yeah, absolutely. All these Pokemon join in the field here. That Radiant Alakazam pairing perfectly into this deck as well with that Painful Spoons. So it is not going to be the Radiant Greninja in this deck. It is the Radiant Alakazam as that Radiant pick here. These Pokemon are so powerful, so you can only choose one, and you can only have one in your deck.
Remoraid does come down, it looks like, and another Inteleon, a full suite of the Inteleon ready to snipe away at Calvin's bench.
All right, so that is the starting turn here for Cyrus. Now we're over onto Cal Connor's side. We'll see what Cal can piece together in this initial turn. Starting the Radiant Greninja, a little awkward. If you definitely want to see that Mew, but you know, there's only one in the deck.
What a hit. Battle VIP pass from the concealed cards. And I'm going to be honest, Cal's hand was not looking the strongest. I think he was going to have to rely on Level Ball for Mew outside of hitting this VIP pass. This definitely smooths things out.
Yeah, that's very smooth indeed. So both of our players going to have a Battle VIP pass. Of course, Cyrus did have to use that V-Star, Star Alchemy to search it out. Cal getting that lucky concealed cards here, but it is in the hands and now in the discard pile all the same. So gonna get 2 basic Pokemon out here. You know, we've been seeing Gardevoir all weekend now, and it's gonna be going a little bit, I mean, we're going to see some strategy come out here for this specific matchup from Calvin Connor, but, you know, the setup is still the same. You got to get your Pokemon out to be able to get that initial setup and get rolling with your draw engine and get your strategies planned out from there.
Yeah, Cal taking a moment to check the prize cards is definitely noticing Manaphy is AFK, not available, not here for the party, not ready to help out. He does have Lumineon in the hand, so that could help find him a supporter card potentially. Debating what this last Pokemon is going to be on the VIP pass. He may want to avoid putting down the Mew. It does only have 60 HP, so it becomes a very easy target for the double gunner ability. It would actually probably give Cyrus a pretty free prize card next turn if she's able to get a couple Inteleon down. Already has that Alakazam.
Yeah, it's like, I guess this is actually the one matchup you probably wouldn't want to start the Mew, huh?
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, I guess it still helps you, but yeah, you're, like in the late game, talking about trying to conserve as much as possible and not giving up any easy prize cards here, especially, you know, Cyrus does have the ability to do some Medicham plays here and take an additional turn potentially. That's pretty scary to go up against. All right, here we go for Calvin Connor. It's going to be the worker just to draw an additional 3 cards. There's no stadium in play, so not going to get the discard effect off of that, but still some more cards into the hand.
Definitely a less than ideal turn 1 supporter. You only draw 3 cards off the top of your deck. The main reason players use this card is to try to get rid of Path to the Peak through a supporter option, so you still get a few cards drawn, but not something that's going to be super relevant here, and I think this is a spot where Cal is wishing that was any other supporter card.
Yeah, definitely not exactly what you want to draw your cards, but you get what you get sometimes. It's going to be another Ralts coming on to the field here for Cal. That's 2 Ralts now in the army of purple Pokemon so far. The Zacian V also on the field as well.
Yeah, and I think that Zacian's going to be one of Cal's better strategies in this matchup. It's got a lot of hit points, 220. It's a little beefier. It doesn't really care about any of Cyrus's tricks and attackers. It's going to have to lead to her 2-hit KOing it pretty much no matter what she does. So I think that's going to be one of Cal's better options, and especially if he can load it up without having to put too much damage on it with Psychic Embrace.
All right, what is still in this hand? Still already a pretty big hand here for Cal Connor, but is there really anything else to be played out of it?
I do see that Cresselia. Cal might not want to put it down just yet, but that could be an option if Cyrus maybe misses out on the Octillery next turn. If Cal can target down this Remoraid right here, that would be a really solid option with that Cresselia. It is going to involve Cyrus missing out on an Octillery. I don't think he wants to bench the Cresselia just yet. You pretty much want to avoid giving your opponent too many options of where to spread their damage with the double gunner abilities. So holding off for now seems fine.
Yep, it's just going to be that Roar of the Sword to attach an energy here to that Zacian V. That does end the turn, so we're going to go over to Cyrus now. Starting with an Ultra Ball here, going to need 2 discards for that. It's going to be a Melanie and a...
That's a Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX right there.
I don't know why I blanked on its name for a second here. I haven't seen that one in a while here.
Yeah,
but
it's been a minute, but it's still here, still kicking, making top 4 here at NAIC. And it looks like Cyrus's only option is to get this Octillery. Use that Rapid Strike Search ability, which is so key for this deck. You can get out whatever piece you may need at any given time, whether it's a VMAX, an energy card, or in a pinch like this, a Karina's Focus to fill your hand up to 6 cards.
Yep, any piece indeed, as long as it is a Rapid Strike card. That is the key. That's the name of the deck. Rapid Strike Box is what it's often called. That Inteleon V and that Medicham on the bench now. I mean, the Inteleon is definitely the way Cyrus is going here for this match, that is for sure. Ultra Ball coming down as well. This is going to be the second Ultra Ball here.
And it looks like 2 Irida maybe going down.
Wow, 2 Irida now, so that's a Melanie and 2 Irida. We're going to get that VMAX out, though, this Inteleon VMAX with that double gunner ability, Chip.
Yeah, and also that G-Max Spiral attack. If Cyrus was able to find a Rapid Strike energy, they'd actually be able to take a knockout on this active Radiant Greninja this turn, take 1 prize, go ahead in this game. but didn't find one, just a basic water energy. So can still use double gunner, ditch this water energy card, and place 2 damage counters onto 2 of Cal's Pokemon, and it looks like those 2 Ralts are going to be the target. I have a feeling, Boo, we're going to be seeing plenty of Ralts being bullied in this top 4 set.
Yeah, and this is where you start to see why this is a fantastic matchup usually on paper here for Cyrus, because, you know, you stack up a bunch of double gunner onto your opponent's field, you start taking multi-prize knockouts here and there, you have the option for the Medicham as well to take an entire additional turn with that Yoga Loop. It's just infinite possibilities in these matchups.
And Cal was checking that Medicham V here, and I think the reason for it is he wanted to see what the weakness was. He wanted to see if it was weak to Psychic. Choosing to boss the Octillery now, which I actually like this play a bit better. I thought he was going to boss the Medicham for a moment, but does ultimately choose to boss his orders, bring up this Octillery, and Storm Slash will take it out. I think recognizing wisely that Octillery is such a key part of Cyrus's overall strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the Medicham is indeed weak to Psychic.
Yes, confirming, yep, weak to Psychic.
All right, here we go. Tower of Waters coming down into play here for Cyrus. And then a Professor's Research, so that's going to be additional 7 cards here for Cyrus after a discard.
That's a lot of Inteleon VMAX in this hand.
A lot. 2 Inteleon VMAX.
I think it's just 1 single water energy, though. That's always the scary thing. If your opponent hits the Inteleon and then finds like a bunch of water energy retrieval as well.
The double gunner going wild here. But yeah, that's at least one discard for the double gunner here to put those damage counters done. And that's what we're going to see, that rapid strike energy here.
Yep, it was attached to this active and popped right back to the hand immediately.
That's how it
G-Max
works.
Spiral 140. It's going to prevent Cal from putting too many more energy cards on this Pokemon.
Yep, and that is where things get pretty dicey here for the Gardevoir player if it wasn't already dicey enough.
I think we're just double checking
The math.
here. I think there might be...
Yeah,
I think there's a little too much damage on the Zacian. Yep, we're getting it fixed. 140 from the G-Max Spiral, and then 20 from the Psychic Embrace.
Yeah, you got to think this isn't a deck that is played super heavily, so just making sure that all the damage is put out accurately, because Cal probably doesn't face off against this too often.
No,
Curlia is going to come out and get evolved onto that bench from that Ralts. Still has the refinement to use. Cresselia join the party, potentially, but maybe not.
Cal does also have Penny in the hand. He could use that to pick up this Zacian and get a bunch of damage out of play.
True.
Gonna retreat first, which is smart. Get those energies in the discard pile so you don't pop them back to the hand with the Penny.
Yep, they serve you better in the discard pile. That's a big part of this deck, but that's exactly what we're going to see here, Chip. Penny gets to just pick up that Zacian V, wipe all that damage done off of the field, and then we're just going to see that concealed cards as well.
Looks like it's another rare candy, another Gardevoir, but no Ralts to take advantage of that just yet. We still have refinement incoming. One thing I will say I did notice in Cyrus's hand is the Cheryl, which is going to be pretty good this turn. Pretty much no matter what Cal does, it's going to involve a 2-hit KO on this active Inteleon VMAX. And that's kind of the spot Cyrus likes to find herself in, being able to Cheryl away that damage so that your opponent is going to have to work even harder to reach for knockouts on this Inteleon.
Yep, Cal Connor used the refinement, got a boss's orders and a fog crystal. Zacian V coming back down here, and we're seeing some energy accelerated here with that Psychic Embrace. And here we go, it's gonna start rolling out here with that Moonglow reverse as well from that Cresselia that's in the active position,
I think
spreading out that damage.
I think the question for Cal is gonna be, where does this damage go? You get to place 80 somewhere, you get to heal all of your Pokemon. Do you target this active, or do you go after something like the Medicham, set that up, or maybe one of the benched ones? Does it really matter is also another question. I mean, all of the Inteleon are pretty much on the same footing, and also with that Tower of Waters in play, theoretically, any of them could be the active this coming time.
Yeah, exactly. They're all the same at this point in time. So Cal just opting to put it on the active Inteleon VMAX Clara is going to come down here for Cyrus.
Great card.
Yeah, great card indeed. 2 water energy and 2 Pokemon straight back to the hand. Remoraid going to come down onto the bench as well for Cyrus. And we're going to see the first double gunner here from that water energy.
And we could see this Kirlia going down this turn. It's got a little bit of damage on it right now. We can see the Alakazam move even more damage to it. And we'll see if that is the case. Does Cyrus want to go after this draw power? It seems pretty strong. And then we could even see the Inteleon in the active retreating to the bench, attaching a new Rapid Strike energy to a different Inteleon and taking the KO on this active.
Yeah, we're doing some Alakazam switcheroo here with those damage counters with the painful spoons, but they're discussing a little bit here. It's really important to make sure you're like laying out the damage counters correctly so that nothing gets confused of where you've taken your knockouts, where you've placed your damage.
It looks like it's Yoga Loop time. We're sending up that Medicham. Yoga Loop is going to take out this Kirlia. And that means Cyrus gets to take a prize card and now draw another card, totally skipping Cal's last turn.
Absolutely. The crowd out there cheering for the Yoga Loop. We haven't seen this in a long time, Chip, and it's come back out, piloted here by Cyrus Davis in our top 4. You love to see it. An entire additional turn, one of the most powerful mechanics in the Pokemon TCG. Just skip your opponent completely.
The cool thing about this play as well is that Cyrus used Clara last turn, got back the Remoraid and the Octillery, benched the Remoraid, used Yoga Loop. Now it's been another turn, so she's able to evolve the Octillery right here and get Rapid Strike Search rolling.
Yeah, Cyrus just moving effortlessly through this game. I'm really curious to hear how many matches Cyrus has already done
and the Cheryl
against these Gardevoir, because it's just too smooth. The Cheryl as well coming down here, healing all of that damage.
And that double gunner will take the KO on Cresselia. 2 prizes for Cyrus, able to hop into the lead. Cal having to send up just this Gardevoir. It's really his only option.
Yeah, that is the only option indeed. This has been brutal so far here from Cal. It has just been a rough game, but I mean, you see why Cyrus chose to take this deck, you know?
Cal could be thinking back to the turn where he chose not to chase down the Medicham, maybe wishing he had done that. Of course, we do know Cyrus played the Clara.
Yeah.
But now maybe there's a play for Cal to go after the Medicham, so you don't get Yoga Looped once again. A lot of times these Rapid Strike decks do not play too many recovery cards. It's not been as popular in this format, so there's a chance that Cyrus, you know, from Cal's point of view, could have like a Super Rod or something hiding in here that he wouldn't be expecting otherwise. But looking at the list, Cyrus does just have the Clara. So that one Clara is down. That means there is no Pokemon recovery remaining. The only other recovery option is going to be energy retrieval to get back basic waters.
That is correct, Chip. Cal not having any knowledge of that deck list, though. That's another thing about it not being super popular or super highly played. You know, the list isn't super prominent and on people's radars either. All right, here we go for Cal.
Concealed cards, drawing a couple more. Does find that Cresselia once again.
And that Shining Arcana Gardevoir as well. But Cresselia coming out into the hand at least. We're going to see the Psychic Embrace, 60 damage being placed. Boss's orders to bring up that Medicham be
no more Yoga Loops for Cyrus, yeah.
Exactly. Cal said, nope, that was one too many Yoga Loop for me, and I want to get that off of the field real quick. That's going to be 2 prize cards down to only 3 left to take for Cal Connor. Cyrus Davis still sitting at 4, but such a strong board state here.
Cyrus just wanting to burn the heavy ball, doesn't need to shuffle the prizes, knows there's no basics in there. And now Nest Ball can grab another Remoraid. Looks like that's going to be the option. No Urshifu plays or anything like that whenever you're down your Yoga Loop. So making sure you have access to Remoraid and access to Octillery if your opponent is able to piece together a boss KO on it is super important for this deck.
All right, ooh, we're gonna see the Iono as well. So both these players gonna shuffle their hands. It is gonna go to the bottom of their deck, so all those cards that Cal had are now sitting on the bottom here. Cyrus is gonna get 4 cards off the Iono. Cal gonna get 3.
Cyrus just going to choose to use that G-Max Spiral, not taking an opportunity to use that Alakazam. Maybe could have moved damage off of the Gardevoir onto, say, the Zacian on the bench, something like that. But also, you have to be very careful with how you move damage around with Alakazam when your opponent has Cresselia as an option.
Yeah, it's just going to be that 140 from the G-Max Spiral. Of course, the energy does go back into the hand as well. The Rapid Strike energy and the G-Max Spiral name a more dynamic duo here, Chip, in this match.
That is going to be the play. That is going to be what Cyrus is trying to do. Cal having the Ralts in hand, also having a 60 HP Ralts, is hesitant to put it into play, though, and I totally understand why. It's got 60 HP. 3 water energy means that that's a easy KO for Cyrus. It only even has to be 2 energy because of the Radiant Alakazam could sneak another one in there.
Yeah, and that's where things start to unravel here a little bit. When you're not able to play your deck at the full capability, you have to navigate around too many awkward scenarios here for Cal. It gets very, very difficult. Every move that you usually take, you're hesitant of because you're playing against a direct counter to your entire deck.
Now, it is possible for Cal to get a one-hit knockout on an Inteleon in a perfect world, right? In this situation, it's not. There's too much damage on the Zacian, but in theory, if he could get 9 Psychic Energy on Zacian V, it hits for enough, 330 to one-hit KO an Inteleon VMAX. The problem with that play is that it just puts so much damage onto a Zacian V, it becomes easy pickings for Double Gunner, you know, Escape Rope, or Boss's Orders plus Double Gunner, things like that. Those are all things that are going to make for a bad time for Cal.
Yeah, Cyrus almost just wants to see Cal put a bunch of damage out there to just finish things off and take multi-prize knockouts. But it is going to be that Cresselia being brought back into the active position here.
Yep, that Cresselia should have 20 damage on it as well. I'm sure the players are aware of it. Cal likely planning to Glow reverse, so don't want to get too many dice out unnecessarily. But now 8 damage counters will be moved to a Pokemon on the bench. Can target that Remoraid.
Yeah, there we go. Can target the Remoraid. Yeah, but still down.
Yeah, if you get a prize here, maybe Cal's hoping he can find a way to just piece together 2 prizes at some point in this game before Cyrus takes the remaining 4. Now, one thing to note as well about Cyrus's deck, there is no Boss's Orders. That's pretty typical from this Rapid Strike box deck. You don't play Boss's Orders because of how useful things like G-Max Rapid Flow are for you.
Yeah, when you can attack the bench, not as much of a need for that Boss's Orders. Remoraid is going to be the knockout there. So that is going to be one more prize card taken for Cal Connor here.
So we are going to see the Double Gunner discarding 1 water energy. Energy retrieval in the hand as well.
Can you guys not hear me very well? I don't know where it is. It shouldn't work.
Looks like we're maybe having a headset issue with
Yeah,
the
I
mic.
think the volume just needs to be turned up. Oh, no, yeah, there we go. It's
Mic
just the
hiding
mic.
under the chin. Classic.
Classic. I've done that casting before, honestly. A bit awkward there, but yep.
So now with 2 more energies, that means 2 more Double Gunners. We see Cyrus kind of thinking through the math, thinking through the numbers. Looks like it's going to be 2 more Double Gunners, another 20 onto the Ralts. Actually, another 40 onto the Ralts, 40 more onto the Zacian as well, really targeting down both of these Pokemon.
Yep, at this position, Cyrus still has 4 prize cards left to take this game home here in this match.
Cyrus burning the Energy Search out of the hand, maybe wanting to shuffle the deck since Iono was just played. Perhaps something waiting on the bottom that they are hoping to draw into, as now Research is the supporter for turn.
Yep, 7 cards here for Cyrus.
Another energy retrieval. Not going to be useful here, but good for the next turn. You can only use that Double Gunner ability once per Inteleon. And now I think just debating where to set damage up with Radiant Alakazam. How do you want to move things about? There's 180 on this Gardevoir. Looks like it's just going to be 10 moved to that Ralts, taking one prize. Nest Ball now being played as well. Still has Rapid Strike Search, let's not forget.
Yeah, that's true. Rapid Strike Search off of that Octillery, able to get any Rapid Strike card from your deck. Such a good, the thing is too, is like you can't even really do anything about the Octillery. You can try to take it out early game when it's still a Remoraid, but once there's so many other threats on the field as well, and it gets rough for sure.
And we are going to see GMAX Spiral attach that Rapid Strike energy, searched off the Octillery, taking the knockout down to just 2 prizes on Cyrus. The game is tied, but boo, look at the board state.
I know.
3 VMAX from Cyrus. Heavily damaged Pokemon on Cal's end. Gonna try to find a way back into this. What could his options possibly be?
Yeah, it's tough when you have to damage yourself in order to take some big knockouts and you already have so much damage on yourself. What do you do from there? Cal's gonna bench a Ralts here onto the field. We're in the last, couple turns here for either of these players, tied up at just 2 prize cards left. It is gonna be wrapped up real soon.
Cal did find that Manaphy, but I mean, at this point, I don't think Urshifu is even a part of Cyrus's consideration or strategy at this point. So, I mean, your Manaphy can come down and just be put into play, but it's going to become an easy target. I wonder if Cal might even just be choosing to research this Pokemon away. That is the final card in his hand.
Get it out of the deck, thin it out there. Research will allow for a lot more cards here for Cal.
Well, let's see if this Manaphy comes down. Looks like the answer is no. I think Cal, understanding it's not a good play to put another low HP Pokemon when your opponent only has 2 prizes left.
All right, that's 7 cards for Cal off of that research. That Ralts just came into play here. We got a Level Ball, Psychic Energy. There's an Ultra Ball, Battle VIP Pass.
It's a Gardevoir as well.
Yeah, that's a Shining Arcana Gardevoir.
Like you said, can't use it.
Yep, cannot use it.
Cal is using some old school rare candies. Maybe he'd ask, hey, can I use the pre-errata rare candy rule when you can play it on a Pokemon that just came into play? But I think Cyrus would pretty quickly turn that offer down.
That would be sweet if that still existed, actually, now I'm thinking about it. That would be epic. But yeah, things are looking grim for sure here for Cal. I mean, where do you even go from here, Chip?
Yeah, I mean, all he can do is just attack, right? Try to get some energies onto Zacian. It's going to do a lot of damage, but he's got to do something, got to try to piece some option together. The problem is if he attacks with Zacian, it's going to be too damaged. Cyrus just takes a knockout. I mean, are we going to see him poke for 30 with the Ralts, maybe? I'm grasping at straws here as well, Boo.
Yeah, definitely. Because Cyrus is just looking at another 2 prize cards to take, and this is their game. So Cal just going to look at things. I mean, we still have plenty of time here on our clock. Of course, we get those extended clocks for our player in our top cut. 48 minutes still left, so Cal playing this out to the very best of his ability. Here we go. We're going to see these energies start coming down, and so are the damage counters with that Psychic Embrace.
Yep, and will just be the Storm / attack, but all Cyrus has to do is attach the energy, use GMAX Spiral, and Cyrus goes up 1-0 here in top 4, one step closer to our NAIC finals.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody in the crowd cheering for Cyrus and the win there. Cyrus always usually comes with a nice solid group of people, and I'm sure they're out there in the crowd rooting them on. Right now in our top 4, this is a huge battle. And unfortunately for Cal, this is just a very difficult matchup. Cyrus very lucky hitting another, I guess on paper, easy matchup. And I think Cyrus has been playing against a lot of Gardevoir because
I would assume so.
Cyrus has just, like I said, flawlessly gone through these turns. We saw the immediate bench of all of those Inteleon, multiple VMAX come out in like the first couple of turns, and we just got those double gunners going. That is the strategy here, because as soon as you're putting damage on your opponent. They're putting damage on themselves, and you take a whole additional turn with Yoga Loop. You just put yourself too far ahead for them to be able to recover. And the turns get very awkward for the Gardevoir player. Let's see if Cyrus can do it one more time to get into our finals, or if Cal Connor can fight back here and take it to a 1-1 into a Game 3 here in our top 4. What do you think's gonna happen coming up here, Chip?
I think Cal is gonna try to be as aggressive as possible. I think that's his best chance in this matchup. Get a bunch of Ralts in play turn 1, get the Zacian down, accelerate an extra energy with the Roar of the Sword, and try to take a 2-prize KO on your second turn of the game, and just hope Cyrus does not get very nicely set up. I mean, Cyrus had a great setup in game number 1.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can Moonglow reverse, target down a 1 Remoraid, that could be another play from Cal's end. You gotta be a little reactive at some point. Oh, that Cresselia's prize though, so that option is just totally off the table.
Yeah, I have something else too for you, Chip. Cyrus does have a Battle VIP in the starting hand as well. So this is already looking pretty dicey if it wasn't already pretty sketch here.
Cal does not have the strongest of starts. Benches a Ralts, attaches to Zacian, and is going to use Roar of the Sword. Now, I will say this is not terrible for him, though, because Cyrus started the Psychic Weak Urshifu V. And 3, look at that 3 Inteleon VMAX in the opening hand.
Oh my goodness. Well, definitely don't want to research away that's for sure.
Cyrus really having to think about how to map this one out. Has the VIP pass,
yeah, but it's
has
pretty
an
awkward.
Ultra Ball, but what do you want to discard with this Ultra Ball? I think nothing.
Yeah, it's actually super awkward outside of that until you, I guess, get a couple turns in and you can actually start evolving some Inteleon here. But Cyrus going into the deck here off of that Battle VIP pass, so we're going to at least see 2 basic Pokemon come down here. Yeah, and the rest of the hand, we'll see what Cyrus decides to do with it in this first turn.
Yeah, do you hold off on the Ultra Ball? I mean, it's not super likely that you're going to be able to get value from all of these Inteleon.
True.
You probably want one of these VIP pass targets to be the Remoraid, even though there is a chance, of course, your opponent could Moonglow reverse it. I think when you look at Cal's board and see he only got 1 Ralts down, you know that there is next to no chance that Moonglow reverse is taking out a Remoraid this turn.
Yep, and not even knowing that it's in the prize cards as well, so just mapping things out without that knowledge. But Inteleon V going to be put into the active position here after that escape rope, and that Ralts is coming up into the active on Cal's side, the only option to be promoted here for Cal. We're seeing that Ultra Ball. It is going to be one of those Inteleon VMAX and an Echoing Horn that are discarded for the Ultra Ball to go into the deck and get another Pokemon out here. Luckily, all the VMAX are already in hand, so.
Yeah. I think Cyrus is probably going to want to go for the Lumineon here and just grab an Irida. Try to get set up, use another Battle VIP pass potentially, use that Irida to go fetch maybe your Octillery for the next turn. But Cyrus is thinking a little different of it here, going for the potential Iono. One thing that I do also like from Cyrus is that they opened up with the escape rope, which was super good. Get that Urshifu out of the active spot, so it's going to be more difficult for your opponent to take a prize next turn.
Yep, get it on the bench there and send up that Inteleon. We're seeing this Iono here, so both players going to get 6 cards. Actually didn't see the hand for Cal outside of the initial turn.
I didn't either. He played it out so fast.
Yeah, so I wonder if this is better or worse, but I mean, really nothing really happened in that initial turn, so.
Well, he's got Rare Candy into Gardevoir, but it really doesn't look like much else. I wonder if it's going to be the Shining Arcana or the Gardevoir EX. Looks like that is the choice.
Yep,
I don't think he has anything.
Oh, no. That's not what you want to hear in this match, Chip. Debating the Ralts or not here to bench it. And this is, oh my goodness. I mean, you're fighting against your deck at this point, you know?
Your best chance to really make something happen with this Ralts, I think, is to bench it early. You know, it's got 60 HP. You're not going to want to bench it later. So if you bench it now, you at least give yourself a chance to find a Kirlia on the top deck next turn. So begrudgingly, Cal will choose to put it into play. He can attach an energy to this active Gardevoir. And let's remember that Roar of the Sword can accelerate an energy to any Pokemon.
Yeah,
so
that's
Roar
true.
of the Sword is going to target most likely this active Gardevoir EX, and sure enough, that's exactly what Cal's going for.
Yep, Roar of the Sword will end the turn, so it's back over to Cyrus now. Lumineon was bossed up from Cal's side, so now Cyrus has that in the active position, has to find some ways around that. But we do see the Octillery come into play here with that Rapid Strike Search ability, allowing Cyrus to go into the deck for any Rapid Strike card.
Yeah,
We
this
see
is
two
kind of
Melanie.
annoying for
Oh,
Cyrus.
wow, all supporters.
Yeah, it's all supporters, so plenty of option. I mean, I guess you really only have one option. It's the Irida, right?
Yes.
There's no Pokemon in the discard pile, no water energy in the discard pile for the Melanie, so it's got to be that Irida. This is kind of awkward, though, because Cyrus has already used the one escape rope, the one regular switching card. That's the main way to get something like Lumineon out of your active spot. The only other option is going to be for Cyrus to manually attach and retreat this Pokemon.
Yep, that is definitely pretty awkward. Off the Irida, we're going to see that Inteleon VMAX here.
Yep, and an old school
Energy
energy search
Search.
all the way back from the Fossil expansion.
Yeah, that is an old one.
Rapid Strike Search as well, can maybe get another energy card, could even get another VMAX, the Urshifu VMAX. That's pretty risky, but you could threaten a Gmax Rapid Flow next turn. I don't think that's really worth it whenever you're putting a 3-prize Psychic Pokemon in play, however.
Yeah.
And Cyrus seems to agree, going for the Inteleon V.
Doesn't seem like the best case scenario for sure. The Inteleon worked so well, so Cyrus is definitely knowing the exact strategy for this matchup. That one Inteleon V on the bench, able to evolve into the VMAX here.
Double Gunner coming out, or the attachment for turn.
Yeah.
Cyrus debating what the correct move is here. Looks like it's attach and retreat as the option.
Attach to retreat the Lumineon, that 2-prize Pokemon, into Remoraid in the active position here.
Now, Cal did top deck the second boss's orders. So that is going to open up the opportunity for him to take 2 prizes here. Psychic Embrace can attach this other energy. Boss's orders targeting down this Rapid Strike Urshifu V on the bench. Oh, thinking about it for a moment. Actually targeting the Octillery. Okay, this is the strategy he went for in game 1. Didn't quite work out. We'll see if it changes here in game 2.
Yeah, debated that, but decided to go with that Octillery and is going to take the knockout pretty easily here.
I wonder if there's an argument to ever go after the Inteleon V. KO it while it's a basic V right now. It's a little easier to deal with. He's actually, I guess, just short of being able to do that. He could deal 180 damage with the Storm Slash. He doesn't have the 5th Psychic Energy needed to make that happen.
Yeah, it's just a clean 200 hit points there on that Inteleon V. So just short, unfortunately, but going to be taking out this Octillery. Of course, a Pal Pad first to shuffle back in those boss's orders into the deck.
Hey, he did take a Professor's Research off the prizes, though. That's going to be good for Cal next turn. Let's see what Cyrus can make happen. Her hand has not been super strong, but it looks like Melanie is now live. Actually going to be with the Clara.
Clara. Getting those Pokemon and energy, and it goes straight back into your hand here for Cyrus Davis.
Cyrus is having a debate between getting the Remoraid or the Inteleon VMAX. I think the Octillery and the Water Energy are the easy choices. And it does look like Remoraid is going to stay in the discard pile. So if this Octillery goes down, Cyrus does not have a way to recover it once again.
Yeah, but we do get to see that evolution now into the Inteleon VMAX, the second one. And we see the Octillery coming down to evolve that Remoraid as well for Cyrus for this turn. So this is already getting pretty dangerous. Definitely slower than our first game that we saw, but things are still aligning here for Cyrus, and the board is getting developed slowly here. And that just, the more that happens, the more dangerous it gets for Cal Connor.
Rapid Strike Search now finding this energy, 140 damage. Gonna make it harder for Zacian to really do much moving forward. Can't receive too many more energies from Psychic Embrace. And there we go. Cal is happy to see that research, ditching the hand to draw 7 new cards.
Yeah, the one off the prize cards. Lucky pull for sure. It was right there on the left bottom card. And Cal gets it, discarding the hand, just an Ultra Ball into 7 cards. Curlia is going to be one of those cards coming down onto the bench here.
Debating what to discard, looks like it will be a Psychic Energy to draw 2 for this refinement. Another level ball is found, so could try to get another Ralts established. The problem is how established are these Ralts ever really going to get?
Yeah, they're not getting too established with...
Don't get comfy, Ralts.
Don't get comfy indeed. All right, we're looking through the deck here on Cal's side of things. I think this is just the level ball now, so eyeing up the Ralts here, at least going to get it out of the deck. I would say it's probably going to go to the bench as well.
Yeah, just try as best as you can to make something happen here. It's pretty unlikely that all your Ralts would get super targeted this coming turn, but we know Yoga Loop is not too far away, so it is entirely possible for Cyrus to pull something off next turn.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, you gotta play your deck, you know. you
I
only
mean,
have
Cal
so many
can't
options.
just do nothing, right?
Yeah.
He can't try to play fully around the fact of the Yoga Loop and the damage spread. He's got to try to establish something.
Yep, and that Ralts is coming down here after that level ball to search it out. What else can Cal really get accomplished for this turn from the hand, do you think, Chip?
It's just a bunch of energy cards, so we could start to see some energies building up maybe on the Curlia on the bench, try to build it up for a potential Chilling Rain Gardevoir in the future. That Shining Arcana does have an Ultra Ball as well with the Super Rod in hand.
Yeah, I guess debating it. Choosing what to discard, because you can get these Pokemon back with that Super Rod. So we are going to see the Ultra Ball, discarding to search for another Pokemon out of the deck here from Cal, taking things nice and slow here, eyeing up that Radiant Greninja to possibly bring some more consistency, some more card draw here for Cal.
Yeah, Cal might feel pressured to get something like Manaphy, but in reality, if Cyrus ever did attack with the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, I think no matter what they KO'd, Cal would be able to respond with the Gardevoir EX or whatever else. So Cyrus probably will attack with the Urshifu at some point in this game just because they started with it, but it's probably not going to be attacked until it's the game-winning attack.
Yeah, where it's no longer a ginormous liability on your board state. That is for sure. So here we go. We see Cal still drawing into some cards. That was, I think, was that the refinement chip?
That was the concealed cards, I believe.
Oh, okay. It just wasn't rotated. It must have been, though, yeah. For the discard into 2 more cards.
And it will just be Storm Slash for 150 here.
Yeah, slowly chugging away here, just getting damage at least on board. Cyrus already drew for turn, and it looks like, yeah, we had all those supporters in the hands, and now they're coming out. Melanie accelerating an energy onto that Lumineon V, that V Pokemon from the discard pile, and also drawing into an additional 3 cards to the hand.
Did find 1 basic water energy, also has that energy retrieval, so we could see 2 double gunner this turn. Also did find that Cheryl, so we could see Cyrus try to make something happen as far as, you know, maybe Rapid Strike Search gets that Tower of Waters, retreats into a different Inteleon, takes the knockout on this active, and I think we are seeing Rapid Strike Search for that tower right away.
Yeah, and that is the single copy of the Cheryl in the deck as well, being found, again, right as damage hits the board every time, right?
It was found off the Melanie, so Cyrus will have to wait until next turn to use it,
that's
right?
True.
So,
that's
I mean, there is an opening for Cal to try to find boss's orders and target down this Inteleon.
Hey, that's better than what we had in the game 1.
Yes.
So that's at least in a small out here, a small light of hope, but this is still looking rough. We're going to see this first double gunner here.
Going to be placing 2 damage counters on 2 Pokemon. 40 total on that Curlia now, 20 on the Ralts. So Cal does actually have a path to victory here. And I think what his play is going to have to be is Boss's orders KO the Intellium VMAX on the bench with the Gardevoir. Get this damage, cash in on it right now
a lot of
before
prize
the
cards.
potential Cheryl. Go down to just 2 prize cards remaining, and then hope that you can keep a Gardevoir EX around so that you can close out the game by using Boss's orders with the Zacian that you would have to recover with a Super Rod and KO something else on Cyrus's end for 2 prizes, either that Lumineon or Rapid Strike Urshifu V. I think that's going to be Cal's path to win this game.
The prize mapping is there. It's just a question of if Cal can get there to this victory and bring this game to a game 3. We'll have to see what happens here with this hand. Super Rod going to bring back these Pokemon here for Cal.
Yeah, one step of the puzzle is Boss's orders this turn specifically. Cal might not realize how pressured he is to find Boss right now this turn, but we know Cyrus is holding on to that Cheryl. So if Cal's able to get that Boss, can take this knockout, get these 3 prizes, he has a realistic chance. And I think it's going to come down to a couple of refinements here. Can he find Boss, or can he maybe even find Lumineon at this point? He does play one Lumineon here.
That's true. I mean, as we spoke about before, Chip, you want to play to, you know, the worst situation possible, right? You want to play to all your outs here. And Cal does have knowledge of that Cheryl because it was played in our previous game here between these players. So if Cal has that on the mind.
Well, Cal's just going for the research now, so it's not going to be the option here.
Well, we'll see how it pays off, I suppose, for Cal. It's just going to be a research into 7 cards here. We still have some options for some draw.
For what it's worth,
concealed cards.
For what it's worth, there was no Boss's orders in those top few cards, so he would have ended up missing out on it, I believe. But, you know, it still may have ended up being what his best play could have been. We do see that Temple of Sinnoh in his hand. That is something that could be interesting. It would shut off that Rapid Strike energy. Force Cyrus to maybe use Rapid Strike Search for specifically a Tower of Waters as opposed to something else that could be a little stronger.
Very true. That is a good thing to point out there, Chip, for sure. We saw the concealed cards, bringing a Curlia and a rare candy into the hand, and now we're seeing a Psychic Energy being retrieved off of this Fog Crystal here for Cal.
Shuffling the deck, thinking through the options, maybe cursing the seeding of the bracket.
I know,
All things going through Cal's mind.
I feel like we've seen Cal Connor so many times in our top 4 matches or even as a finalist and just can't seem to get that, secure that win there and move forward. And yeah, it's just unlucky matchup here again for Cal.
Another refinement, 2 more cards, a couple of Pokemon now added to this hand. Do you really want to put another Ralts out here on this field?
Yeah, that's the question. We're going to see the evolution here into that Shining Arcana Gardevoir here.
Yeah, that's pretty strong. Gives it a lot more HP, 100 hit points remaining, so that means it's not going to be an easy target to something like the Radiant Alakazam or the Double Gunners, or spreading a bunch of damage.
Yeah, 140 HP is actually quite a bit. I mean, it is a Stage 2 Pokemon, so you'd hopefully expect it to be
Is Cal getting to the knockout here? He could be at 9 energy cards in the discard pile. If he is, he actually could Storm Slash with the Zacian here to take 3 prize cards. I think he's got this as an option as well, and then he would need to Boss's orders next turn to KO either Urshifu or Lumineon. I think he's maybe with the energy in hand. I think he's pretty close.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards in hand right now here for Cal. And yeah, just look, counting up all of the energy here in the discard pile.
There's 1 in the hand, so I think that's going to be the 9 that he needs to make this happen. I think we're making sure whether or not Cal has used this Curlia. I am going to be honest, he's done a lot of shuffling and a lot of searching the deck this turn, so I'm not 1,000% sure. He hasn't put a marker on it. Our judges are double checking though. We want to make sure we know for sure before he starts to draw cards.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it. We did see the concealed cards.
Yeah, looks like Cyrus was agreeing as well.
Yeah, I don't think we did see the Curlia used there in this match so far. Well, in this turn, I mean.
Here we go. Psychic Embrace, a couple energy to the active. Now retreating. Zacian can come into the active spot, and Psychic Embrace will add 8 more energy to this Pokemon after the attachment for the turn. Storm Slash for 330 damage, taking a one-hit KO on the massive Inteleon VMAX.
Yep, sitting at 320 HP. That is enough here for Cal to take that giant knockout. And that VMAX card is worth 3 prize cards as well. So all Cal has to do is take an additional 2. Temple of Sinnoh also coming down first for that disruption as well for Cyrus. Now Cyrus is left here after that huge turn from Cal Connor. Only 2 prize cards left to take to bring this to a 3rd game in our top 4.
Yeah, this is Cal's chance to get back into this one. I will say, with Yoga Loop hanging around somewhere and Radiant Alakazam, there's honestly potential for Cyrus to close this out. And I think that's what Cyrus is kind of trying to map out and think through in this spot. There's a Rapid Strike energy in the hand. Cyrus also has the Star Alchemy V-Star power available with that that Force Seal Stone in the hand, right? Has not used that yet this game. Cyrus might be thinking if it is possible, and I think it could be. Double Gunner, add 20 to the Corellia that already has 20 on it. Radiant Alakazam, move some damage over, and then you use the Yoga Loop, take that extra prize, and then on the next turn you evolve into that Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, use G-Max Rapid Flow, and take out the Gardevoir on the bench and the active Zacian V.
Yeah, that is just a lot of moves to make, and that's exactly what Cyrus is thinking through, because any slight slip up here and all of this could fall to pieces. So if Cyrus is going to close out this game, everything has to go to plan here. And there's a lot of cards in hand too, so sequencing is everything for this turn right now for Cyrus.
And Cyrus has a research as well, so what she might be thinking is, hey, if I just dump my hand with the research, there's pretty high odds that I can draw the pieces I need either off the research or off of Star Alchemy and off of the Rapid Strike Search. So that's exactly what she's doing, filling this hand up with 7 cards. She's committed to this play, putting that Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX into play. Needs the Radiant Alakazam, needs the energy, finds the Ultra Ball. I think Cyrus has it.
Gonna play this out. Ultra Ball discarding 2 cards here.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be it. Ultra Ball can get either the Alakazam or the Medicham. Rapid Strike Search can get the Stadium card to move the active out of the active spot. And then that Star Alchemy V-Star power can get the Alakazam as well. Yeah. Cyrus is setting it up. And then next turn, because she would take 2 turns in a row, can use Rapid Strike Search once again to get that last Rapid Strike energy. It's all coming together. You just got to map it out. Make sure you've got everything.
Do everything.
Star Alchemy. Here comes Alakazam. We're taking a 4 prize turn.
This has got to be one of the best finishes we have ever seen in the top 4 here.
So intense at this moment. Yoga Loop takes this KO.
Yep, Yoga Loop taking the KO. That means an additional turn here for Cyrus. Everything is mapped out.
The draw for turn. Now all Cyrus needs is the Rapid Strike energy. It's there in the deck, and G-Max Rapid Flow targets the active, targets the Gardevoir. 3 prizes for Cyrus, and that is Cyrus moving to the finals of NAIC.
You hear the crowd cheering out there for Cyrus Davis. That not only was an incredible finish, but Cyrus taking things down with such an off-meta, unpopular deck, taking it into a giant field of over 1,800 players and coming out on top here in our top 4. Moving into our finals here, gonna be in our championship Sunday stream in our Masters Division finals. Cyrus, I'm so happy right now.
Absolutely incredible. This is not a deck that I would have predicted to make it to the finals. I don't think anyone could have predicted this. Maybe the one trainer that could have predicted it is moving to the front of the stage right now as Cyrus Davis is moving into Championship Sunday.